And we are live, guy.
We live?
We're live.
Okay.
You should get out your phone, maybe.
Give me a goddamn second.
But we're live.
I told you not to shoot a live. I told you to record so that you could have all your stuff there, that you did not listen. It sounds like a typical day.
I'm sorry. I thought you knew who I was.
I do. That's the problem.
And that's why we're live.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Of course, I'm your host, Spivey. And with me today is...
I don't have a screen name.
Jocelyn.
For those of you who got massacred by me in Call of Duty back in the day, you will know where that came from.
Call of Duty, Destiny,
Battlefield 4, to name a few.
Battlefield. He was the guy who would shoot, spray machine gun fire, and hit nothing.
That's a lie.
Nothing.
840 hours proved I can kill everything.
He was the reason people to say sniper just hit him.
That's a lie.
And thunk, and then he's done.
That's a lie.
Sniper class. Machine gunner. Anywho, welcome back to the channel. As stated, of course, I'm your host. What we're going to do is have some conversations. This is a old friend / old roommate of mine. We have known each other for years now. What? All right, am I incorrect somewhere?
Continue.
Are we not friends?
Continue.
Okay. Have we known each other for years?
I'm trying to give you an opportunity to continue without getting, blasted on live.
Blasted on live.
Blasted on live.
Anywho.
Coin that phrase, cut it, print it. That's mine if he uses it, so.
Okay.
Yep.
So, anywho. What we're going to do is have a little bit of conversation. In this particular case, I want to talk about what some may see as a bit of an unpopular opinion or thought process. For me, this is on homeless people and their unique ungratefulness at times. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's saying that they have to be grateful for things when they receive help or assistance, but it's not a bad thing to be a bit grateful. For anybody who's done good deeds for homeless, then you may have encountered some of these kind of situations. If you've never done so, then, well, you have no idea. And then you probably just think I sound like an ass. But, well, before I go into my reasoning, what do you have to say on it?
I didn't know that was going to be the subject matter, but...
What is the first one?
He is a jerk. That is definitely a fact of the situation. Anything past that, I don't have anything to say.
So, let me give you some backstory or scenario so you'll have a better understanding of why I say what I'm saying. I've done a lot of hours of community service as part of organizational work. I've been in trouble with like traffic tickets and stuff, make you do some community service work. I've various different reasons, and just because to do some good work, I've done community service work, and some of the work I've done will be at like food banks and the homeless shelter, and it's awkward. You do a lot of work to let's say you're the part of the group that raise money to get food, so you can go to the homeless shelter on the weekends and prepare them some food and give out some food. It's astounding to see how many people will snap at you because you're giving them a type of food that let's say a whole balanced meal, but they don't like carrots. They'll want to throw it at you instead of saying, "Hey, I'm not a fan of carrots. Can I get something else?" Let's throw it at you like you're supposed to just know, I don't like carrots and I won't eat this. Well, don't eat it. Okay. You don't gotta be rude. And so you would think that, oh, that's a simple little scenario. But no, it goes further. For a specific scenario that did happen, I'm not making this one up. There was a lady, she was homeless and she had like 2 kids. And so the standard drink was some water. Some water and some juice. So they had, their share, and then they would come back up to get some more. And because it's juice, you know, the sugars, we was like, well, you know, if you get permission from mom we can give you some more. We'll give you some. And so they ran to get the mother. The mother comes up, and she loses her mind on us. Who told you you can offer my child some juice with some water? You can't give my child nothing. And blah 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 blah. We don't need shit from you. And then going to turn around. Well, you got some socks. I mean, snapped on us for a good 5 minutes or so. But then you got some socks. Like it baffles me. And even that, I was just like, okay, maybe it's mental issues because there are a lot of big mental issues with homeless that don't get addressed because they can't go get treatment because where can they go? Um, so I know that's a big deal. Then just the other day, I happened to be grocery shopping. There was somebody outside the store, and she says, "Hey, I'm homeless. Can you help? I got 4 girls at home." And she says they're teenagers. And I say, well, okay. She was like, well, they just need, you know, anything until I can get my food stamps. I, you know, don't have a job, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, she's she's a little bit older, okay? So because she catches me as I'm coming out the store. So I turn, look at my cart, and I take out food from my cart and hand it to her. She says, oh, no. Well, they won't eat that. You got to go back in the store and get this, this, and this. And she gives me a list of what she wants. You're saying you have nothing. You want me to help, and and without question I help, but it's not good enough. We've been on the highway, and the person will say anything or do on the sign, and I give them the very food that I have that was meant for me, and I give it to them. I won't eat this shit, and throw it at you. What? Like, I'm sorry, but it baffles me. I don't understand. I don't get it. What are your thoughts?
I don't have thoughts on this
Why?
because your problem isn't with the people being in their situation. The poor are, or those unfortunate enough to need to do that or claim to need to do that. Some of them are actually out there struggling. But the people who you have come in contact with, these stories you're telling me, are people who don't need that help. These are people who have decided that they don't want responsibility and therefore have done what this country has allowed several people to do. This country has a floor for a reason. Nobody is allowed to fall beyond that floor. If they do fall beyond that floor, it's because necessarily either they want to or somebody's forced them past that point. But in general, this country set up so that there can be assistance for you, whether it's through the government or through the charity and kindness of people around them, their community. So you were acting in the capacity you were supposed to be because you're human and you care, and therefore you did your part. They were not truly in need because if they were in need, they would have accepted whatever you were able to give them. But as many people may have noticed, outside your local gas station or grocery store, there's always somebody there waiting, asking for $1. You go to work for 40 hours a day for an entire week, and you have to make all that money. They stand there, and if 15 people come in that door, they've made $15 in a half an hour doing absolutely nothing. I mean, they're not in need, they're in want, and they just don't want the responsibility of having to actually work for what they can get. Now, I'm saying this knowing that there are, again, exceptions to that rule, but the people you're talking about, they just don't want responsibility to do the work that they need to do to be on their feet.
I could agree with that for a couple of them because I mean I know like there are scams that are rampant that the person probably makes more money in a day than I make in 2 days, 3 days, even potentially, depending on where they are, where they're located to ask for funds or assistance. Don't get me wrong. To me, if someone is bold enough or desperate enough to ask for help, then I'll try to help, and I try not to judge or put my own personal opinion or thought behind whatever their situation may or may not be because I don't know. I'm not in their shoes. I don't go home with them or to their non-home if they don't have a home. So I don't try to just assume what their real story is or their background because I myself I've been essentially homeless. I've been there myself. Um, and if it wasn't for having some friends who let me crash their couch for a very long bit of time, I don't know where I would be today because they let me crash their couch to get back on my feet. And then, I progressed back up to essentially where I am today. So, and I know what it's like to say, hey, I'm not going to have to ask somebody for help, for assistance. And like I say, I've talked to some who was like, yeah, well, I just got tired of paying rent. I got tired of going to work. I got tired of this, and that. So I just decided one day to be homeless, to just survive on my wits. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Mm.
okay, I okay.
I when I was in school, one of my coaches told a story about when he went to D.C. and he stopped and talked to a homeless guy who was panhandling, and the guy said he's not doing it because he has to be there. He used to be a top lawyer in a top firm. Wife took everything, ran away, took off with all the money, ran away with somebody else. So at that point, he just quit. So he said, if I want to go take a shower, I go down to the church down the street. I need some food, I go to the food lines down the street. He didn't need anything, but he gave up the responsibility because of his trauma for having to care for himself. He knew what he had to do. He knew what he needed to do to, stay alive and survive. But at that point, he had given up. Now, he's somebody who's conscious of that fact. There are, I would say, homeless people who are not conscious of the fact that they've given up that responsibility to take care of themselves.
I get that. Um, yeah. Now, of course, everybody has their viewpoint. Everybody has their say in this kind of scenario or situation. And I would like feedback from your end if you have any thoughts on generosity and how it's received by one in need, particularly of the homeless nature. Um, because, I mean, everybody's experience differs. And the gratitude of these few that I've interacted with that were massively ungrateful doesn't mean that they're all the same way. It doesn't, because I don't want this to imply to anyone that they shouldn't help or attempt to help somebody because they may get rebuked, that they may get that gift thrown back in their face. Because that's not what I'm saying. It's just that for those few out there who are asking for help, but they want specific things and they don't want what you have. Like even what's good for you, what you would have, they want you to go back in the store and buy top tier this or that. Like that's crazy to me.
They're not in need. It's that simple. They're not in need. If you need something, if you need things, then you're gonna take what you can get. If you are actually a beggar, you're gonna take what you can get. But if you're not, that's just you out there peddling for something and you want to get things for free.
Mm.
It's that simple. You're not in need.
Well, like I say, go ahead and share your experience, your thoughts, your if you feel like I'm dead wrong or whatever the case may be. comment down below. Send it to me in a direct message. Whatever floats your boat. I'd like to know what you think.
Not float your boat.
It floats some people's boat.
Ain't no boat floating with holes in it.
Okay. Okay.
See?
So we'll be back in a few moments with another video, but that'll be it for this particular topic. This technically is in the category of 100 proof, or at least 50 proof, because I'm the only one that has a cup. And if you're joining or did join in with me, make sure you are of age, do so responsibly, because I don't have no money if you get in trouble. Stay home. All right.